Some Christians really piss me off.
It's just my opinion.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Sway. That's right. Welcome to the channel where I give you my absolute honest opinion. And I really don't give a flying what you think about it. That's right. And as always, I got my trusty smokes, my trusty Coke. And before I get started, do not forget to hit like, make a comment, share the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon so you can be notified of every time that I post a video. And I get it. I know what you're asking. Damn it, Sway, why are you wearing the same damn blue shirt? That's because I'm too damn lazy to put on another shirt. That's simple. No, let's be real. I don't leave the house. I don't leave the house. Most of the time I'm in my house. I'm in my bedroom, working on videos, doing different things. And I'm just, a little TMI. I'm just in my boxer briefs. That's it, and then I get dressed, and I do Sway, the vlogs. I'll do a skit video or whatever. And depending on what I'm wearing that week, that's what I'm wearing and whatever. So I've already worn this shirt a bunch of times, and I think I switched a couple times. So let's see what happens in the next video. I don't know. All right. So some Christians really just piss me the fuck off. Now, everybody that's been subscribed to my channel, everybody that's been subscribed to my channel already know this, but people who don't know this, all right, I've been a practicing ordained Christian minister since 2003. Okay, I was ordained in 2003, and I've been working in ministry ever since. And then people are gonna ask you, oh, but why you smoke? Or why you cuss? Or, well, how do you justify it biblically? I don't justify it biblically. I don't justify my cigarette smoking. I don't justify cussing. And let me just adjust this real quick. No, I don't justify what I do. These are just where I mess up. Okay. This is where I mess up. I don't go smoking cigarettes in front of certain people, if I'm in my house, I smoke in my house. That's simple. I don't smoke around my father. I don't smoke around other family members. Just me. All right. But it's really, hold on before I get started. So it's interesting to note, okay? It's interesting to know that a practicing ordained Christian minister is going to talk about this while smoking a cigarette on camera. Oh, well. That's it. Oh, well, that's it. That's all I'm going to say is, oh, well. Some Christians piss me off. Now, I'm going to say it like this, okay, to my Catholic viewers, okay? And I hate to burst your bubble, but when it comes to the Protestant side of everything, because it's Catholicism and then it's the Protestants. Protestants do not consider Catholic people Christian for many, 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 many reasons that, and this is not trying to offend you in any way, just in truth on how many times you violate what the Bible says based on what a Catholic priest will tell you. Okay? And, I'm not going to get in on it. That is a whole other topic. But so but I'm just saying that to let you know that what I'm talking about in Protestants, okay, the Protestant community and the different denominations of Catholics, I mean, not Catholics, sorry, different denominations of Baptist, Pentecostal, Apostolic, Methodist, even Lutheran to some degree. Um, we do not consider Mormons, we don't consider them Christians as well, just like we do not consider Latter-day Saints Christian. Yeah, that same thing, Mormonism, right? Yeah, we don't consider Mormons, whatever side of the fence they're on, we don't consider them Christians as well. Seventh Day Adventists, they're on the line. You know, many Protestants don't, and many Protestants also see them kind of like on the line on whether or not. But for the sake, for the sake of for argument's sake, I will include Seventh Day Adventists and in what I'm going to say. All right. I hate phony Christians. Not that I hate them, you know, not that I hate them, is I don't like them. I don't like phony Christians. And what is a phony Christian? I'm going to be, I am always honest with you. Okay. I am always honest with you. I am a fuck up. I don't pretend to be perfect. I know I'm not perfect. The fact that I smoke cigarettes on freaking camera and I'm a practicing minister, you know, no, I'm not perfect. I have a lot of issues, just like each and every one of us as human beings. We have issues. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all have shit that we need to deal with. Okay. But I hate the way phony Christians act, thinking that they are better than everybody else. There's so many other things that I'm going to concentrate on that. Okay. And I'm going to speak particularly on in the Spanish community and the Spanish community dealing with the Pentecostal side of things. Okay. Spanish community with the Pentecostal side of things, especially when they are ultra conservative, supposedly, they're very strict and full of shit. Inside the church, they pretend to be this holier than thou thing and whatever. Inside their homes, they are some of the most terrible monsters that you can ever meet. They will betray you, stab you in the back. They set up these high standards for the rest of the world. They set up these high standards for the rest of the world that they themselves don't even live up to. They deny it, they lie, and they deny it because inside the church buildings, mind you, the word church, okay, the word church comes from the word ecclesia, which in Spanish we get iglesia, which just means the people. The church, the true church of Christ is the people. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. The true church of Christ is the people. All right. Um, it is very, and this is why one of the reasons, one of my missions is to expose this bullshit within the Protestant community, in the Christian community, the bullshit. Okay. I know I'm a fuck up. I know I'm a fuck up, but you don't see me treating one person badly just because of some standard, whatever. I treat everybody the exact same way. You show me respect, I show you respect. You disrespect me, I disrespect you right back. Fair enough? Good. Um, And even to that point, if you disrespect me, it takes it's gonna take a lot for me to disrespect you right back. If some people will tell you, oh, he disrespects me all the time. Well, no shit, Sherlock. All the shit that I went through with you, you're damn right I'm gonna disrespect you back, because you haven't earned my respect yet at all. I doubt ever. And that will include former friends, relatives, former acquaintances, whatever. That's just how it is. People who used to have my respect and they no longer have it, it's for a reason. All right. But I'm going to say like this, right? In the Pentecostal community, especially in the Pentecostal apostolic community, the Spanish speaking community, those extremely strict folk who have these high standards that they themselves don't live by unless they're in front of people. But inside their own homes, they're jokes. How do I know? Because I've known many supposed ministers who were, let's say, long story short, their children ran away because of the bullshit that was happening at home. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. But these are the people that will just, that it doesn't matter if you're a drug addict, an alcoholic. It doesn't matter if, all the sins, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the LGBT plus community. It doesn't matter if you had kids out of wedlock, fornicated, whatever. They're going to treat you like shit. They're going to treat you like shit. Oh, they, on the outside, they sound polite, but if you listen to the tone of voice, you look at their attitude, the way they do things, they treat you like, you could tell they're just being a condescending prick. I seriously don't like them. Okay. And one of the quote unquote ministers that I know, he told me that it is a sin for a man to have a beard. He is the only minister that I have ever met that stands on that statement that having a beard is a sin. And I challenge him on it every time. Where in the Bible does it say it? He cannot find it ever. He tries to run around the bush saying, oh, well, this, that, or the other, or this, that. No, bruh. You said that in the Bible, it says that a man having a beard is a sin. Where does it say it? What's the exact scripture? If there is not an exact scripture saying that a man having a beard is a sin, then you're full of shit and you're violating one of the biblical principles that says don't add to the word of God, and don't take away from the word of God. Okay? Phony Christians. By the way, that person, he's one of the people whose children have gone off and done other things. Mind you, when it comes to ministers and ministry, the Bible is very clear that if your house is, okay, the Bible is very clear that if you're a minister, any kind of minister, whether you're an ordained minister, you're a deacon, just any person in some form of authority, that if your house is not in order, your ass needs to step down. Okay? I was a pastor. I was a pastor. Yes, I did have my own congregation. I did. Okay? I did have my own congregation. And I stepped down and I closed the church. Why? I live by why? Because something happened. I'm not going to get into it into details. Something happened. My house was out of order. I had to step down. I know many people who their house was out of order for one reason or the other, whether and they refused to step down because they did not want to let go of the leadership. Many who many would say things like, oh well, God forgave me, oh well, God's forgiving my family, oh God bro, you got your job was to step down. You were in a any person who's in a form of leadership or authority within the congregation, your job was to step down if your house was out of order. Then once your house is in order, however it may happen, then you can build yourself back up. Okay. My house was out of order. My house was out of order for whatever reason it was out of order. I stepped down. I stopped practicing in ministry for a long time. I stopped practicing ministry for a long time because I needed to get my house back in order one way or the other. Okay. It didn't happen the way I would have liked. It didn't happen the way it would, you know, but my house got back in order one way or the other. And um, I started working my way up. I'm not a pastor. I don't lead a congregation, but I am a minister, and um, I take my responsibility serious. And like I said, uh, it took me a long time to get back. Why? Because I needed to make sure that my house was in order. Okay. Um, Many of these ministers, they, like I said, whether they're an elder, they're a deacon, they're a pastor, they're some kind of leader. They want to stay in power. They will make up any excuse possible to stay in power because they're narcissists. They are narcissist, power hungry folk. All right. I've said it many times, nobody's perfect. We all have our issues and whatever. And, and all my friends know who I am. They know I may not necessarily agree with their lifestyle. They know I may not necessarily agree with what they believe in this, that, or anything, but there's, you know, they're still my brothers and sisters. Now in the Christian community, especially in the Pentecostal, community, when I say that they're still my brother, no, they're not. Yes, the fuck they are. Okay. Maybe not spiritually. They may not spiritually be my brothers and sisters because they don't believe what I believe. You know, they could be Muslim, they could be Buddhist, they could be whatever, but they're still my brothers and sisters. Why? Because we are created by the same creator. And if you cannot see, if you cannot see that just because they believe differently than you do, that they are still your brothers and sisters under the same creator, then there's a problem with you. That simple. That simple. Now, to my atheist friends who don't believe in God, and what have you, that's not an issue as far as them they're the same creator. But I'll phrase it like this: we are all human beings. We are all a human family. Okay. Whether you believe that we were created by the same God, or you believe that we evolved from the apes, we are still a human family. You're still my brothers and sisters. We're still brothers and sisters. We're still cousins, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that's just how I see it. All right. Um, it's really a shame the way these phony Christians, they just fucking, oh my, and when 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 they pray, they got to make a show out of it. See, when you pray in the, biblically, biblical prayer, okay, biblical prayer, okay, prayer is internally, okay. You pray, biblical, by biblical principles, prayer is between you and God. Whether you're praying at home or you're praying in the church building, you're praying on the streets, you're praying, you're praying in the hospital. That is between you and God. Okay. How many in my own family, I'm not gonna say who it is, but someone was like, "Oh, you need to pray more." I was like, "How the hell do you?" And I said it to them. I was like, "How the hell you know I don't pray? What makes you think I don't pray?" Their response to me was, "I don't see you pray." And I shoot the Bible right back at them, saying, where in the Bible does it say that I need to show you that I pray? Where the Bible is clear and precise that prayer is between me and God. And if you pray to make a show out of it, you're disrespecting and dishonoring God. So a lot of times I go into these church buildings, and I'm just me in a corner by myself, or in the back of the church building, kneel down on my chair. I'm praying silently. Okay. In the meantime, you have these fools praying, 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 faking speaking in tongues. Now, I believe in speaking in tongues. I wholeheartedly believe in speaking in tongues, but there's a time and a place for it. There are rules and standards that are in place when it comes to speaking in tongues in public. And okay, but these fools, they want to try to make a big show and make up some tongues and whatever. Then they're absolutely not saying the damn thing. They're just faking it. Actually, there's a lot of church ministries, quote unquote, church ministries, that they have classes on how to teach you praying in tongues. Anytime a church ministry has a class to teach you how to pray in tongues, and they're giving you instructions and what have you, they're fakes. They're frauds. That simple. The Bible is very clear that when it comes to praying in tongues, God will just use you and it comes out. You don't need to be taught. God will just automatically do it. The Holy Spirit will just automatically do it through you. Okay. Now, there are a lot of Baptists that I know that they don't believe in praying in tongues, saying it's not done anymore. And then I say, where in the Bible does it say that it's no longer done? And they try to quote certain things, and then I have to tell them, well, here, it says that it is, and this was after this. All right. Now I've seen in the Baptist community the same things that I've seen in the Spanish Pentecostal community. I've seen it in the Baptist community. I've seen it, I've seen it in Methodist. I've seen it Apostolic. I've seen it everywhere to a different level, but it's the same bullshit, the same hypocrisy that I've seen in one denomination, I've seen in another. Okay. Now also they want to, when it comes to denominations, we're talking about, Pentecostal, Lutheran, Baptist, right? Then you have some with some organizations that are, no, we are our own denomination. No, you are not your own denomination. You are an organization. When you tell people, what, what kind of Christian are you? What do you say? Oh, I'm Pentecostal. Well, that's the denomination you are in. And you happen to be a part of this organization that follows the doctrine that you follow. Okay. There, it's the whole attitude of high and mighty, that they think they're so much better than everybody else. Now, for, early on in my ministry, shit like that pissed me off, where everybody was thinking that they were right, but nobody's actually listening to each other. Infighting between the different denominations. Now, I've preached in Baptist churches. I've preached in Pentecostal. I've preached in Methodist. I've preached in Lutherans. I've preached in so many denominations. Why? Because for me, it is about taking it back to the basics of what Christ actually taught. Not about dogma, okay? Not about dogma, not about, what they call doctrine. I'm talking about the true doctrine, the true teachings. Now, it is very interesting because I never really had a true understanding of the New Age movement. While I don't agree with everything within the New Age movement, but I do agree, and I love the fact that it is about going back to the basics, to what Christ actually taught. And this is to the true New Age folk. Now, I don't agree with the whole Christ consciousness and other things and what. I don't agree with that. I don't. I will be honest with you. I don't. But we are all searching for the truth. And I love the fact that they are searching for the truth, whether or not I necessarily agree with some of the things that they say. The fact that they are still always searching for the truth, willing to learn something new. That is one of the things that I respect about the New Age, is the fact that they're constantly searching for the truth. I love that. They're not set, their stuff is not set in stone. That they are unwilling to at least listen to something different, new information. Excuse me. They are at least open-minded. So I love and I respect that. Okay. One of the things about the phony Christians, how you can tell what a phony Christian is? Well, listen to the way some of them pray. I said, again, they're making a show out of it. They're like, in God's name I pray, in God, in God, in God. Oh, trust. Oh, I've heard that many, many times. Prosperity Ministries. Oh, that's another one that really, really chaps my hide. That's one that really chaps my ass. Prosperity Ministries of, you know, using financial suffering and greed. If you give us, if you give us $333 or 300 or about this, give us $316 of of offering or come on. They're like, give us $316 of tithes or offering representing John 3:16. God is going to bless you with so many financial blessings if you give us $777 in tithes and offering. We'll give you this anointed oil, because they would use certain biblical things that did happen and whatever. Using people's financial suffering for them to send you their very last $2, and they can barely pay for a meal to support your shit. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous, yo. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on about different examples of Christians that piss me off, quote unquote Christians that piss me off. And based on their actions, based on what they do, and based on their shit, damn. Fakes and phonies, I call them all. Whether I know them or not, whether I personally know them or not, I tell them to their face, they're fakes and phonies. They are what's wrong with Christianity. I mean, let's be real. You're gonna treat somebody like shit just because they don't believe what you believe. You're gonna treat someone like shit because they live a different lifestyle than you do. You're gonna no. You don't have to agree with their lifestyle. You don't have to agree with their beliefs, but you treat them with all love and respect. And when you have conversations with them, yes, tell them the biblical truth and principles and all of that, but don't jam it down their throat and try to force them to go and believe what you believe. My favorite people that piss me off the most are people that they take shit and they spin it around and say, oh, this is of the devil. Okay. Remember Pokemon? They say, oh, this is of the devil because of monsters. When they took Harry Potter, yes, okay, Harry Potter is a fiction. It's a fictional world of witchcraft, wizardry, whatever. But it was like they're teaching kids how to do witchcraft spells. I'm like, look, I know real Wiccans, okay? I know real Wiccans, and I've had this conversation many times with a lot of these people talking about Harry Potter. I know real Wiccans. I've seen actual spells. They're not teaching children how to do actual spells and whatever. This is just a story of whatever. Okay? They take things too extreme. You can't even have some kind of, you cannot have any entertainment. You cannot have why? Because it's a sin. Some of these people is like, they go to the beach If you wear a bathing suit to the beach, it's a sin, for crying out loud. Some of these people that I've seen, right? The men, they wear slacks and a short sleeve button up to the beach. And how can you enjoy the water on the beach? How can you enjoy the sun on the beach? You're freaking with low, penny loafers and shit like that. If the women, they can't even wear a bathing suit. They have to wear a full dress, like damn it. Okay, you know what? I understand the modesty thing. Okay, gentlemen, and I'm sure I'm not talking to anybody that watches these videos, but I'm just gonna say, if when it comes to the modesty thing, what? Okay, I understand that. I can understand it. Shit, but damn it, wear shorts, wear some loose fitting shorts, wear a regular white t-shirt or something, some kind of shirt, and you can enjoy yourselves, it's fine. Ladies, fine, wear a full body bathing suit. If you're, if the modesty thing is an issue, fine, wear a full body bathing suit, right? With one of those sarongs, those scarves that wrapped around the waist to, there's nothing wrong with the modesty thing. Just shit. Why, I've seen on the beach so many times where these women, they're dressed to the nine in a full dress. And I mean, for crying out loud, um, many in the Muslim community have evolved past that to, okay, men, they go shirtless. And then the women, they wear these specially made, it's basically like a wetsuit that you would wear to go, scuba diving, with a, with a hijab that's like waterproof. Shit, even they've evolved past, you want to have fun, okay, but with the modesty thing, whatever, shit. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous to that point, but going back into what I was saying, right, with, all right, I'll give you an example. I'm gonna do a quick share screen here. Hold on. Anybody remember this lady? Anybody remember this lady? The About the Monster energy drinks are the work of Satan. Okay, and I'm just gonna play this video really quick.
Ready?
Oh.
Alexa, resume show.
Oh, I gotta turn on the volume for the commercial. You'll see it. You'll see it quickly. Hold on. The way she explains this.
Look at your M closely. There's a gap right here in the letter M. It's never connected. So you go into Hebrew. The letter Vav is also the number 6. Short top, long tail. Short top, long tail. You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can. But my interest is the word monster. What do you see in the O? There's a cross. Okay. What has Christ got to do with an energy drink, let alone the name Monster? So I thought, well, maybe this is a Christian company then. BFC at the bottom of the can. Do you know what that stands for? That's the F word. Big can. In fact, they write it on the side of the can, so I know that's the F word. Okay. Now, do you know what a MILF is? Yes. That's on the box. MILFs, dig it, and you will too.
Okay, so this lady, okay, and she represents a series of people that are so beyond ridiculous. Okay? Beyond ridiculous. Okay? On the shit that they do. Okay? she has like way too much time on her hands to have done this whole thing with the presentation to say that the Monster Energy drink is of Satan. She never once ever thought that maybe it is a coincidence that, you know, whoever designed the M, whoever, you know, she took it to that level of whatever. It is so fucking ridiculous. That simple. I'll give you another example, okay? I'll give you another example. Um, you remember with Facebook and texting and all that, right? When it's really started to come out. And those of you that are old enough to remember this, when we started using the letters LOL, right? Laugh out loud, laughing out loud, right? That's what it stands for. LOL, laughing out loud. Who remembers when a bunch of Christians, quote unquote Christians with the quotation marks, started freaking out and say, no, it does not mean laughing out loud. It means Lucifer, our Lord. Really? So it's stuff like, I mean, stuff like that pisses me off. Give me a fucking break. That's simple. Give me a fucking break. I remember I was helping Prince. Okay, for anybody that's into professional wrestling, anybody that knows from the 80s in WWF and then WWF, right? But mainly WWF, ladies tag team wrestler Princess Victoria. Okay, she was a women's tag team champion in the 80s. And she worked with Velvet McIntyre anyway, she's a friend of mine. Okay, she's a friend of mine. I love her to that. I call her Mama Vicky. Okay. By the way, she's Native American, and when it comes to children dressing up in costumes to be Native Americans, she doesn't have an issue with that, and she's actually discussed it at the cancel culture stuff with some natives that are doing that. Like I said before in in the previous video, I can understand it, but and what have you, because many of the young folk are talking about it. But my friend, Vicky, Mama Vicky, and many of the older natives, they are actually appalled and disgusted at some of these young folk that are, I mean, they can understand certain Native American-esque mascots, but when it comes to others and other things and whatever, they're just appalled against it, disgusted that these young folk, they're taking it way too far. Okay. And I hope to get an interview with her soon so that way you can hear straight from her mouth. Okay. Straight from the woman's mouth. But anyway, going back into all of this is that I was working on a project for her, me and my friend Chris. So we were working on a project for her. We were getting some interviews, and we went to upstate New York to what was the Hall of Fame in upstate New York at the time, in Amsterdam. It moved since then to another state, but at the time it was in Amsterdam, New York. And I got to hang out with Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Okay, and I got to talk to him, and I took a picture with him, and I'm going to show you the picture really quick. That's me and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Okay, mind you, this is the hand signal that he always used when he's walking out. Okay, some people call it the I love you signal symbol, or the tradition. Mind you, he's Polynesian. Okay. And the traditional shaka is like this, but there are many other Polynesians that they do the I love you symbol, So, but this is part of his culture, part of his thing. Okay. When I found out that he was that he was sick, mind you, this was before all of the information um, concerning some of the stuff that happened in the past. When I found out that he was sick, I went to a Christian group that I was in on Facebook, and I asked for prayers. Okay. And here comes this lady attacking me because I was doing the symbol, because she's like, don't you know that's the symbol of the devil? Don't you know that's the symbol? That lady, no. And they're really pissed because, okay, I can understand it. I can understand her point if um he was European, and someone can argue the point that that it is a Masonic symbol for the devil or some bullshit like that. But no, he's Polynesian. It's part of his culture where he, along with the Shaka, he was doing that. Okay, both hands usually, but it's part of his culture. It's part of his gimmick. It's part of his, he was very proud of his culture. And I said, do you know who he is? No. Well, let me tell. And anyway, she was trying to basically swear at me, saying, "How dare you?" That I'm like, listen, lady, this man is a Polynesian man. Okay, he's a Polynesian man. Okay, in his culture, they'll do the shaka, they'll do the I love you. That's part of their culture. That's part of what they do. So how you're gonna tell me that an ethnic group, race of people, if you will, who have been doing the shaka and other symbols for generations upon generations upon generations, okay, on the West Coast, and to them it means what it means. How are you going to tell me that he's doing a devil symbol or whatever when his culture that has been around for eons with no communication with the East until basically just recently? Let's be real. Let's be honest, right? And recently in history, you're going to tell me that his people were taught the Masonic symbols and this, that, and the other. It's like, get a grip. Get a grip on reality. Get a grip on reality. Learn some history, learn about cultures, and just shut the fuck up. I didn't say shut the fuck up to her, but literally, and more or less 2 or 3 words, that's what I told her to shut the fuck up. It is really ridiculous to the extreme levels that people who call themselves Christian, they take it, because they are ignorant. They are ignorant to what the Bible actually says. They are ignorant to other cultures. They are ignorant. They're just ignorant for the most part, for many things with these people, that they tend to take things way too far. They are ignorant. They're ignorant. They don't want to learn. They are stubborn. They think that they know it all. And instead of learning, hey, this is actually part of their culture, or this is actually this, or this is actually that, they take it to a full extreme and make themselves look like asses. Seriously, I mean, the mentality that a lot of these people who call themselves Christians have, it is so appalling. It is so disgusting. It is just so disturbing. And then they want to say, oh, I'm going to heaven because you treat people like shit. You claim that you're a Christian. You claim that you follow Christ. You claim all this stuff, but you treat people like shit, and you do all this shit that you do, and you screw people out of their money and all of this, and you think that you're going to heaven. And one of the things when I was preaching, when I was preaching at a church one time, and I was an invited preacher, and the pastor of that church knew basically he agreed with me. He agrees with me on everything, but he noticed how some people were acting and what have you. And I said to them in that sermon that when it comes down to it, many people who you are condemning, they're gonna be in heaven while you end up in hell. Because these people, they are more Christ-like than you are. And that same night, a lot of people were pissed off, but that pastor, he had my back. That pastor, he had my back, and he was like, amen, brother, amen. That's the truth. And people don't like hearing the truth because they want to think that they're high and mighty, that they're better than, no. Like I said, when it comes, with me personally as a person, you treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. You disrespect me, I'll disrespect you right back. And then with some people who lost my respect a long time ago, yeah, I forgive. I do forgive people. I do. But just because I forgive people does not mean that I'm going to allow them to ever disrespect me again. That simple. Forgiving somebody does not mean that you allow them to disrespect you ever again. I mean, sorry, let me rephrase that so I can say it correctly. Forgiving somebody does not mean that you will allow them to disrespect you again. It means that for your own sake, for your own sanity, for your own mental health, for your own emotional health, for your own spiritual health, you forgive them, and they no longer have power over you. But you will not allow them to disrespect you again. You set up boundaries, and if they start disrespecting you, you know what? They deserve to get disrespected. That's my take on it. Many people will disagree with me on it, but Jesus says that if a man hits your cheek, give him the other one. We only got two cheeks. So if he slaps the other one, it's going to be, I forgive them. They smack my cheek. I forgive them. So I give the other one. But as soon as they disrespect me, I ain't having it. He never said he never said what would happen about if they slap the other cheek. He just says, yeah, give him the other one. And yeah, you forgive people. Why? Because then they no longer hold power over you, but you do not allow them to disrespect you ever again. One of the things that pisses me off about these Christians, that they think that they're better than everybody. They're bullies. They're bullies. They're bullies. That's it. They're bullies. They are bullies. They are bullies. Many of them, they were bullies when they were kids, and they just found out another way of bullying. Whether it was through money, whether it was through trying to use the Bible or whatever. No, they say, oh, I've changed. I came to God, but they're bullying people still in one form or the other. And then they try to make excuses after excuses after excuses. Oh, well, you don't know how it is here. You don't know how it is there. No, 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 no. I hold myself to a standard. Okay. I hold myself to a standard where I don't give a flying fuck what's done here or here or here. I'm going to hold myself to a standard. And I know that I fuck up. Because we all do. But I at least I am trying to hold myself up to a standard. Many of these Christians, they don't hold themselves up to a standard. They keep on doing their bullshit, and then they say, "Oh well, God, God forgives me. God forgave me. I'm saved. I'm saved." Just because you're saved don't mean shit. And I'll say this to those people. I said, just because you're saved don't mean shit. Just because you're saved don't mean shit. It's not a free pass to allow you to continue with disrespecting people. It's not a free pass to allow you to keep on screwing people over. It's not a free pass to continue hating people just because they're different than you. It's not a free pass to hate people just because they don't believe what you believe. It's not a free pass. Yes, that's what really pisses me off about these people who call themselves Christians. There are some Christians that, you know what, I have a lot of respect for. I don't necessarily agree with everything that they say, but I have a lot of respect for them because they hold themselves to a standard. They're like me. We know we mess up, but we hold ourselves to a standard, to a high standard. We try to live by that. We treat everybody with respect, even though we don't necessarily agree with everything, but we at least do that. There's a lot of people like that I respect. So yeah, that's before and I say this all the time, and I say this all the time when I'm talking to my minister friends, and when I talk to people, I say you can't go out into the world to try to preach the gospel if you're you're not even living up to a standard. If you're treating people like shit, how who you don't have the right to try to preach the love of God if you're not even living the love of God. You don't no. Just sit down, shut the fuck up. A lot of these same people, they're out there on the street. They're out there on the street trying to preach the gospel, but in reality, a lot of them, at least that I've met, that I've known that I've known personally, or that I've met, or that I've seen, or that I've witnessed, they're preaching a good word, but in everyday life, they hate people just because, Oh yeah, we can talk about the Westboro Baptist Church and folk like that. You know what I'm saying? But they are out there. They are at least they are vocal about the fact that they don't like anybody. I'm talking about the people that you won't know until you personally encounter them, until you personally see what they are about. So yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It is terrible. And I can't, you know what? And I constantly talk about it with a lot of people. I constantly preach about it when I get the chance. You know what? I am not silent on it. You want to say you're a follower of Christ, and be a follower of Christ and love your neighbor. Don't treat them like shit just because you don't agree with their beliefs, or because they live a different lifestyle than you. If you truly want them to be saved, then you got to, then you're they're not going to follow Christ following your example. Just be real. That's one of the problems that I have with these people. They want people. They say they want people to follow Christ, yet they're not living the example that Christ set on this earth. And that's where I have a fucking problem with it. That's where I have a fucking problem with it. This is why I'm vocal to as much as I can be vocal. And people don't like it that I'm vocal about it. And I don't give a flying fuck. And I don't care. And I don't care. I don't care if I don't care who they are. I will, you could be offended. I don't give a shit if you're offended. Good. If you're offended with the facts, good. You should look within yourself and really make a change. I remember one time, dealing with a couple of these people, I go to somebody and they said to me, "Oh, pray." Yeah, I do pray. I pray for God to change them. They said, "No, pray for God to change you." What do you mean for God to change me? I didn't do anything wrong. They're the one that are doing this, that, and the other. They're the ones that need to change, not me. I'm not the one that's hating people because of this. I'm not the one that's hating people because of that. I'm not the one that's, showing hatred because, no. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad to the level of hypocrisy. It's sad to the level of just this the sense of entitlement that people they'll get, or the sense of superiority, God complex bullshit, and thinking that they're better than everybody. No, fuck you. You're not better than anybody. That simple. All right, y'all. That's it for tonight. I just really had to let that go. I really had to, talk about this in case anybody was wondering. And just remember, until next time, I'm Sway. I love you all. Peace.
It's just my opinion.